What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Lasting Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, Digital Relaxation, and we are back again for another episode. And I might be sounding weird, I don't know, because I just randomly got hit with allergies, like out the blue. Like I was fine all day, and then it just hits me at once. So if I'm sounding weird and whatnot, that's why. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode and what you're gonna hear, please be sure to share and rate this podcast so we can grow and just talk about more stuff. Small little updates or about me. I did have a plan I wanted to do for this month of podcasting. I'm not revealing it because I'm saying that it's a lost cause, but just in case if it is a lost cause, like I want to get it out there because I don't want to be feeling like people are letting me down or whatever. Like, I understand everybody have their lives or whatnot, and it's, me trying to insert myself into everyone's life because I want to do something with my podcast. It's not fair to them. But as you know, March is Women's History Month, and what I plan to do, it's still possible, we still got the rest of the month, but what I plan to do was get female guests and basically have them talk about their experiences and things they deal with and whatnot, and let them share their relaxing thoughts and whatnot so you guys don't just hear me talking all the time. But as of right now, I can't get a solid hold on someone. Like, there's potential, but as of right now, people are doing things, so if it happens, it'll happen, but if not, I tried. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to do, and we'll see what happens with the rest of the month. But yeah, February is over. Winter is almost over, finally. I mean, I won't even say finally. Honestly, this winter was, good for me. This winter was lackluster, but that's a good thing for me because I ain't trying to deal with that. But still, like, there was still its cold moments, and what happened to me recently with getting my ear infection and whatnot because of the cold air and whatnot. But yeah, now you see I'm over here dealing with allergies, so maybe that's a shift in weather too. But yeah, so this episode, I don't know how long I'm gonna talk about this, but it's just something I just want to talk about, see where it goes. But for like the past, I want to say almost 2 weeks, I was dealing with something kind of new in my life and doing a whole lot of deep dive and trying to figure things out, and even talk to my friend about it, see what her perspective was, and figure out what the heck was going on. So it seems within the past 2 weeks I developed a form of insomnia, where I was just constantly, and it was literally clockwork. Literally every day I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning in the middle of my sleep for the reason. That's where it gets tricky, because there's kind of multiple reasons. It's tricky. The main overall reason that I'm noticing was because of discomfort. What I was uncomfortable about was I was getting a lot of mixed signals about. But the main thing that I was uncomfortable about was my room temperature. Like I said, because of the shifting in weather, like one moment it's warm outside, but like the cold air will still seep into your home, so it still makes the place feel cool. So I have a portable heater that I use to sleep with. But the thing about this heater is, well, when I put it on energy saving mode, it will come to a point where I guess it will recognize the temperature of the room and realize that, oh, maybe that I need to turn myself off for a little bit before it starts back up again. So it normally does that, but for like the past 2 weeks, it does not. Well, lately, for the past 2 weeks, it have not done that at all. It's just constantly been on, and that leads to my room getting warmer than it should be. So, and I'm a person who likes to sleep under covers. Like, no matter if it's cold or hot outside, I just like to be under covers. So that on top of being under covers and like I'm just heating up in my bed, is making me, obviously I wake up uncomfortable, and it's annoying because I would take it off so that, it could cool my room down, but obviously I go back to sleep. Then I wake up when it's time for me to wake up, and it's like my room is cool again, like it's cold again. I'm like, oh, I need to warm it up again. So that's one of the things I was dealing with. But the next thing was discomfort in my dreams. Usually my dreams are all over the place. I have random, wacky dreams where I will have abilities, or I'll just have dreams where it's like a random day of my life, but in a different timeline. Like if certain things were different, or certain people in my life were different, or if I lived somewhere different. It's one of the, but it's like it's a normal day, but it's just like everything is just different. It's like a universe where I made different choices that I live in. But these dreams were like almost all personal, like deep diving into things that's like in my life that I probably, well, I don't know, because that's the problem. It's things that I felt like I should have grown to like accept and overcome in my life, but my dreams always like put it in the forefront, and it makes me feel like I didn't get over it, and it's like hard to figure out what's really the situation is. So one of my dreams was basically I got in contact with my childhood friend, one of my childhood friends, and like I said, specifically that one because I don't know why specifically that one, because timeline of my life, I grew up born and raised in New York, and it's where I spent basically my childhood at. Then I moved over. I moved out of state, and kind of basically lost contact with them. But a few years later, I managed to get in contact with both my closest friends again. One of them I actually went back to my hometown place to see him. He was actually still living in the same place. That was weird enough. But we saw him, we talked for a little bit, and that's kind of where it left off. So I don't know. But my other friend was kind of weird. We had mutual friends on Facebook. Now, the next thing about this mutual friend is I have no clue who she is. She's actually a mutual friend of my sister. She knows my sister. And I guess she added me through her. I never spoke to her in my life. But that was most of my Facebook friends. Like people just added me that like through friends of friends or high school people. But so I had her on my friend list for I don't even know how long, and this is when I'm already in college, and I was just on Facebook. I was still in. I was out of school, out of class. Class was done, but I used to like staying at the school to finish my design, so I won't, because I didn't really have a strong computer to do my designs and use Photoshop or whatever at home, because the rendering sucked over there. So I would just use the equipment at school before I go home. So I was just on Facebook chilling, and she posts a picture of her and her boyfriend, and I'm like, this dude look real familiar. and she tags him, and so I'm like, hold on. And the name that's tagged, of course, is his real name. When we grew up, we had a nickname for him, which I'm not going to say because this is actually weird. But we had a nickname for him that we always use. So calling him by his real name was something I'd never done. So, but I knew what his real name was. I was like, oh crap, like the name is familiar. He looks familiar. I went on his page. I'm like, yeah, he looking real familiar. I just messaged him and I'm like, yo, I like, giving out clues of things that only he would know. Like, hey, you remember this area or whatever? And he instantly recognized me. I'm like, oh shit. So we kind of just talked and caught up and whatnot. So, of course, fast forward, here we are now. My dreams decided to put one of my friends into my dreams. And in the dream, it was very specific. Like usually I would have dreams where like I would dream about my childhood moments or childhood homes, but it would just be a background thing. Like my dream is like, oh, I need to insert a template of a house, and it would just pick a memory from a house that I grew up in or I was familiar with growing up. So that's normally what it does, but this one was very specific that me and him rekindled, and we literally had a moment where we spent the time just sitting there talking about what happened between us, like after I moved away, like where did our lives go and whatnot. We were really just sitting there talking. I'm like, this is not how my dreams normally go. Like it literally felt like this was something my dream was telling me that needs to happen, or something like I need to have some kind of closure with my friend. So I don't know. But that was one of them. I had another dream where this one is weird because I tried to do I was trying to like do I don't want to say readings. What is it, like dream interpretations of or whatnot, like figuring out why certain things are in your dreams and what it means. But I have this, which I haven't. I talked about this in my dream episode probably a year or two ago. But I have this thing in my dream. Well, I have this issue that I know a lot of people in my life that don't dream or don't remember their dreams. So I never have someone to properly share dream conversations with. So I had this thing in my dream. So I don't, if anyone can relate to this, then maybe you understand. But I have this thing where anytime there's a form of media in my dreams, instead of me like watching like, oh, someone is playing a video game, and I just like, oh, let me just sit there and watch them play a game, or something's on TV, or let me sit there and just watch the TV. Instead of me just sitting there and watching it, somehow I transport it into whatever that form of media is displaying. So there has been times where, example, where I have had a dream where I played video games in my dreams, but because of whatever this thing that happens in my dream, I go into the game and now I am the character. And that's also one of the things that because after a while, I'm sure I talked about this, but after a while, obviously at some point I learned to stop believing in nightmares and whatnot, so I basically don't have nightmares. So because I never really fear my life is in danger in my dreams. So that's one of the cases of I was a video game character, and honestly there was times where I died in my dream, but because I knew I was a character, I just respawned. So it was nothing. But yeah, so for whatever reason, I have this thing where I would go into a form of media, and either I will live it or I was observe it. So in my dream, there was a news coverage happening, and it talked about this crazy hurricane flood that happened, and for whatever reason, I never been to this place before, and obviously it happened. There was Katrina that happened, Hurricane Katrina, but for whatever reason, this was not Katrina, but for whatever reason, it did take place in New Orleans again. So I don't know what that's supposed to entail. There was a hurricane in New Orleans in my dream, but this one was like weird. So it was a huge flood, and basically all kind of life, animal life were invading. Usually it started with like alligators or crocodile, whatever the difference is, and they were basically just freaking going at people. And whatever reason, like I said, the role I play in this dream is kind of a spectator, where I'm there, I feel what's happening, but I don't properly interact with anything. So like I said, again, I never really feel my life is in danger. But I'm just watching this city gets destroyed. I'm seeing people dying, and I'm just sitting here like there's nothing I can do about it. And then it got to a point where the place just got over swamped with snakes all over the place. The snakes were harmless, but it was just like they were just everywhere, like literally everywhere. And I'm just sitting here just watching this, and it got to a point where I questioned. I'm like, I questioned myself in the form of, I know I'm dreaming, so I'm like, why am I having this dream? But I didn't question it as a dream, but I'm questioning, like, why is this like, why am I here exactly? And the moment I questioned that, I woke up. Like, even I'm realizing, like, what does this guy do with anything? Because it was not like, oh, I'm here to save people, and I'm just sitting here watching chaos happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm guessing that's a message, but I don't know why it was so specific to New Orleans and the specific creatures. I searched up like what it is when you had dreams of snakes and whatnot, but like I said, it's hard to pinpoint, because usually it's like, oh, if you dream of this happening to you, but like it's technically not happening to me. I was dreaming, the dream I was normally having was me hanging out with my family. it was a snow day. Apparently it didn't even snow this year like that. It did, but like, yeah, barely. But it was one of those heavy snow days, like the snow was like built up. So we were just hanging outside, just chilling. So I go back to their place, and that's the news that was on the TV. And like I said, I get transported there. So my dream went from me hanging out with my family to seeing a city get destroyed. And I'm just saying here like, okay, like what happens here? Like what's happening next? Like, do I eventually leave? So I just woke up. I'm like, bro, what the hell was that? So like I said, like trying to interpret my dreams, it's like, is it technically happening to me? Because I can't, like, how do you interpret something happening to you when you are a spectator of the events that's happening, I guess? And I don't think I was able to find anything about dreaming about being a spectator. I'll try again, but yeah, so there's that. Then I don't remember any other dreams. I felt like I wrote them down somewhere because I was complaining to my friend about it. And she was telling me about me having repressed feelings and whatnot. And that's what I'm saying. I know about my childhood friend, and like, I don't know, I tend to believe that I don't really have regrets in my life, but obviously I guess there's closure in my life that I do not have, that I guess I wish I had. But a part of me feel like I do, like, cause it's like I know the outcome of the situation, I know where this is going type thing. It's like, you know, like when you realize that your role and your, like, you know, your chapter in somebody's life is over, I don't need to dwell on it. Like, oh, let me, you know, just rekindle the past and talk about, like, the question would be like, let's say if I do rekindle my friendship, it's like, what are we, like, you know, where do we go forward from here? And like, so I went to go meet my friend, and when we spoke for a little bit, it's like I could kind of see that both our lives were on different paths. That is like, even if we were to rekindle our friendship, like, there's no middle ground between us for us to hang out on. It's just, we just have a foundation based on the path of our childhood. So I feel like those things should just stay there, I guess. But to me, because of everything that happened in my life and what my childhood memories mean to me, those are things that I guess I will never be able to let go. But I mean, honestly, everybody won't be able to let go if you had a good childhood. But because it's like, it's what molds you to who you are now, how you grew up. But yeah, that's mainly it. So yeah, for like the past 2 weeks, I've been waking up in the middle of my sleep every day, 4 o'clock in the morning, every day. Just uncomfortable, dealing with my room temperature shifting, and I don't know. Just trying to get myself back on balance, figure things out, understand why I'm going through this whole shift, I guess. But that's mostly it. I had a weird dream. I finally had one of my weird dreams last night, actually. It was one of because I was actually watching something about Matrix, and for whatever reason my mind said, hey, let's have a dream about the Matrix. And it was one of those, if you've seen the Matrix movie, or the trilogy at least, the second movie, where Smith started to like make clones of himself, it was something similar to that, where I was basically Neo, and I think he was in the second movie, the Keymaker. He was in the second movie. I was basically playing the role of Neo, trying to protect the Keymaker from the agents, but instead of the places that was in the movie, we were like in the open of like wherever places my memory decided to create. So it was weird, because I was like, you know, we were doing the whole Matrix stuff. I was like freaking jumping from one building to the next building and great leaps. I'm like, bro, this is weird. Also gotta say, that's kind of the first time where I had a dream. I don't want to say the first time, but it's one of the few times where I had dreams where I have powers. Like, I know I have powers, but when I try to use them, they don't go right. But this dream actually went well. Like, I would imagine, like, oh, free your mind and just jump over the freaking from one building to the next building that's like 2 blocks away, and I would probably fall. But I actually just I cleared the whole thing, and I was confident in doing it. But there's been dreams where it's like, oh, I can fly, and I would jump up and leap real high, and then I would just come right back down. Like, bro, like, can I fly, or do I just jump high? So one of the few times where my powers actually worked in my dreams, and I actually had hands, bro. I was giving out hands. It's like I said, one of those weird dreams I be having. I like those dreams. But yeah, so hopefully all my personal deep dive and therapy dreams are taking a breather. But that's about it. That's what I've been dealing with. Just trying to refix my sleep. I don't even want to say my sleeping schedule, because it's not like I've been sleeping late or nothing. It's just I tried sleeping late to see if it would change, and I'll still wake up at the same time again. So that's that. But other than that, other things I've been doing, playing video games as always. I 100% it Forspoken. And unfortunately, that the studio that made the game actually shut down, so that sucks. Also, speaking about Women's History Month, I did drop a video on my YouTube channel, my top 5 female gaming characters, where I go down my list of my personal female gaming characters to highlight women in gaming. And I may do some more videos related to the subject. So I'm trying to do a Women's History Month theme content with either my podcast or my YouTube videos, or both. If hopefully I can get guests. So you're into that, then be on the lookout. Of course, my YouTube is Digital Relaxation. So feel free to check me out on there. But yeah, other than that, that's that. Still don't know if you guys like this new shorter format, but I'm gonna keep rocking with it for a bit, and see how it goes. But yeah, till next time, hope you guys have a great day. Well, before I even do that, of course, share and rate the podcast, and all that good stuff. But yeah, till then, hope you guys have a great day and a great week. And yeah, till next time, peace.